my name is Khurram. I work as a senior product manager at PayPal. How many of you guys know PayPal? Wow, that's impressive. Now, how many of you know PayPal X, our latest platform that we just launched? Okay, so then I guess you guys are in the right session, because it's all about, the payments for web.future. So let's quickly start off with the agenda today. We're going to talk about how the evolution of the web happened. Most of you guys already know that, but I just want to set aside some time to talk about that. About payments in general, what payments are, and then obviously we'll speak about the PayPal X platform, and then the new suite of APIs, the adaptive payment APIs as well as the adaptive account APIs that we just launched in last year in November. Then we also have some information about and reporting APIs that we provide you guys with as a means of getting notified and running reports. And then in general, just using PayPal APIs, how simple they are, how interesting, and what value they bring on the table. I would suggest to hold off on your question and answers towards the end. But if there's some question that we really want to hold back on, then we can I can definitely address that. But just in the interest of time, let's leave the questions and answers towards the end. So let me start off with a quick little story. Once upon a time there was an archer, and he just wanted to be the best archer in town. So what happened was, he mastered his skills, and then he went around asking people that, do you guys know of any other archer that exists today? A lot of people did not, know, but however, there was one person who said, listen, there's one guy who resides in a certain place who, is basically the guru of arching. And if there's any person who's better than you, he's the guy. So just because he was very, very, passionate about, gaining more expertise in his skill set, he started looking for this person, and he started asking around for this person. Nobody gave him a good answer, so he was pretty disappointed. So one day he was just, walking through the forest, and then he noticed that he just, noticed a tree, and then there was this perfect, arrow placed right at the center of a target. And he was very impressed. And he started following in that forest, and he started looking at other, trees, and he noticed the exact same behavior, that, an arrow was perfectly targeted at the center of the target. So he just, walked it on, and then he finally came across a person, and he asked that person, hey, do you know of that person who actually did this? And he was like, yeah, that was me. He was like, oh man, you're the person I've been looking for all this time, where have you been? And I want to actually learn much about this, because I want to get perfect at what I do. So he said, well, it's pretty simple. What I do is I actually take the arrow, and I aim to any tree out there. And once it lands in the tree, I just go and paint the target around it. It's that simple. So I guess what I'm trying to tell you is that, me as a product manager, I cannot really design products targeted to a specific audience, or a specific job, or a specific segment. And that's where the PayPal X comes into play. We, unleash our APIs to any developer out there who could be an innovator, who could be a developer on a mobile device, who could be a developer on web, in any major, programming language, and we will help him monetize his business. A lot of times, folks, they have great talent, but once they start building applications and innovative products, they reach a certain point, and then they realize that, hey, you know what? Now is the time I have to start monetizing my business. Because otherwise, in order for me to get to the next level and be successful, obviously, he needs to sell his talent. Now, and that's where people get disappointed. And that's the gap that PayPal X is trying to address. That this new platform that we launched would help you monetize your business, so that you guys can focus mostly on your core competency and not worry too much about how you want to monetize it. So that's where PayPal X comes into play. Yeah. Oh, same slide. Okay. I just gotta go ahead and flip the.
You can't be seen outside of the spotlight.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. All right. So web.future, as you guys know, it's been around for quite some time. 1.0 is not too much to talk about since 2.0 evolved, and 2.0 is all about web as a service, right? And if you notice the new platform that is evolving by the day, whether it's Google App Engine or Salesforce or the Android market or iPad, they're just trying to change how development is done and deployed and consumed by the customers. So things are changing rapidly at rapid pace, and we at PayPal, which is payments, has to keep up with that. So let's talk about a quick overview of how the online industry works. So this is typically the model. So the moment you go to a store, let's say at Brigadoor, it is, right? Brigadoor. So I was there yesterday, by the way. So there's a lot of cool shopping places, right? You just go in a store and you buy something. Let's say that you take out your credit card, give it to the person at the point of sale machine, he swipes it. And then a few seconds later, you see a printout coming out to approve with the amount. So what's happening behind the scenes? This is what's happening behind the scenes. What's happening is the customer goes to the merchant site. It could be an online purchase. It could be the point of sale machine on a physical store. Does not matter. It goes to the processing service, right? The bank who owns that merchant account. And then it goes to the processor. And then that's where number 4 is the issuing bank. That's your bank. So let's say you have a Citibank credit card and you swipe it. That's your issuing bank, making sure that number 1, this card is not stolen. Number 2 is this is the right person. And number 3, he's going to put a dot, I guess, or a debit against your name for that amount. And then that's number 5 that comes back to the processor. Processor comes back to the processing service. Of course, the acceptance or decline. And then number 7 is the merchant. That's where he sees it. Okay, you know what? It's look good. It's done. And then he will let the customer know, here's your item. If it's online, you will just get whatever that is. And at the end of the day, after that, they settle it, or the settlement cycle. So that's pretty much typically in online, how a payment actually works. Now, the internet is changing in the world. Everybody knows that. And PayPal is also changing or challenging traditional payments that are designed for the web. Because, as I mentioned, we just cannot limit this to the web. It has to be, set-top boxes, devices. It also has to be, mobile phones. Mobile is a big market in India. People may not have a laptop or a PC, but they definitely have a mobile. So that's where PayPal is actually adding a lot of value. And then obviously enabling, the world to build business and thrive online and beyond, because PayPal operates in a lot. So it's a global company. If you are innovative enough to create an application, it does not have to limit to Indian audience or Indian customers. You can actually sell and trade globally, which is the best part. So this is typically how it looks like. You look at it, here's all your different financial networks, right? And then you have your internet companies who are creating these, app engines or, platforms for you developers to go and create applications based on that. And PayPal actually sits in the middle to try to connect the internet companies and the financial systems. And I'll explain you that more in a few slides later down the presentation. So basically, what problem are we trying to solve? Today, a lot of payment systems online are pretty closed. And, they're also targeted to specific geographies. Especially when you're dealing with your banks and your balances, when you trade with those banks and balances, it is very geography specific. Obviously, not interactive batch, right? Most of them are not real time. And then obviously, it's very cumbersome. But last but not the least is the fraud issue, right? A lot of these merchants, let's say you go to any abc.com or xyz.com, and then you say, hey, this is excellent, I want to go ahead and buy that. How many times you think that, hey, should I put my credit card in this website or not? Is this safe enough for me to process or give out my information? A lot of people are not comfortable in just taking out a credit card and putting on any XYZ website. They want to know the authenticity. And there's a lot of phishing people out there. So that's where the issue is. Now what we're trying to solve is that so you can literally pay anybody, anywhere, and with your preferred payment instrument. So let's assume that you have a bank or maybe 2 banks, you have some balance floating